When the animated TV show Jonny Quest was released in 1964, it instantly became a huge success among younger audiences. Designed and created by renowned comic book artist Doug Wildey, Jonny Quest was filled with incredible adventures, science fiction, mysterious villains, otherworldly threats, and thrills that quickly turned it into a pop culture sensation. However, despite its popularity, the show surprisingly lasted only one season. Nonetheless, its immense success led to the creation of various spin-offs, including comic books, TV shows in the 1990s, merchandise, and even a potential summer blockbuster currently under production by Warner Brothers. In 2024, Dynamite Entertainment published a new Jonny Quest comic, bringing a fresh issue of the classic tale to this popular franchise. The series aims to retell the original story with a modern twist while preserving the beloved characters. It also introduces a series of new adventures featuring the lead character Jonny Quest, accompanied by his father and scientist Dr. Quest, his adopted brother Haji Singh, their bodyguard Roger Race Bannon, and their dog Bandit. So let's dive into the video and explore their latest expedition. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Homecoming. The comic begins with Jonny and his family returning from a thrilling adventure to their beautiful home in Palm Key, Florida. Known for its sandy beaches and lush vegetation, Palm Key has been home to the Quest family for a long time. Dr. Benton Quest, who uses the island as both his residence and a tech lab for his scientific discoveries, is particularly fond of the island for its seclusion from the mainland, a feature that allows him to conduct his innovative experiments in privacy. However, when the family steps off their boat after narrowly surviving a massive bolt of lightning and a drone attack, they immediately notice that something about the island they call home feels different. Both the adults and the kids are surprised to see overgrown trees, a neglected lawn, and an overall suspicious atmosphere, leading them to believe that the island has undergone a drastic change for some unknown reason. Yet, their recent adventure wasn't long enough for such significant changes to occur. As everyone offers their thoughts on the possible reasons behind the island's transformation, their dog Bandit begins barking suspiciously at something behind a bush. Concerned by the neglected state of their once beloved home, Dr. Benton starts to worry about what might have happened inside the house. Suddenly, a security camera begins moving, and we see a man watching them through the security footage of the island. He watches through one of the large monitors in the security room. Jonny asks his dad about the killer drone that attacked them at sea, and Dr. Benton tries to reassure him by calling it merely a malfunction in his technology. He also tells him that these devices were meant to protect the island rather than destroy it. And to this, Jonny replies, who is he protecting their land from? Are they in danger? Which the mysterious man in the dark acknowledges by calling them the right questions for the moment. He also seems interested in hearing Dr. Benton's answer to Jonny's questions, but before that, the man presses a power button on his seat to deactivate the system lock and open the main entrance of the house. Seeing the door opening on its own, they all look toward the door in confusion. Home invasion. Seeing the door open, Roger asks the boys to stick together so that if anything happens, it will be easy for him to save both of them quickly. When Jonny asks Roger if they will go inside the house, Dr. Benton tells him that it is the only option left for them to investigate the matter. He also thinks it will be a learning experience for the boys if they join him inside the house rather than waiting outside and wasting their time. The four of them, along with Bandit, enter the house, but seeing the inside, they feel like there is nothing in common between this house and the place they once called home. Jonny even compares it to an old mausoleum due to its lowliness. Haji also notices a strange smell in the hallway which he has never smelt before inside a house. When Roger asks Benton what he thinks about the condition of their house, he replies confidently that the house has been invaded and redecorated by someone since they left for the quest. He then starts walking towards his laboratory to check if the invader tampered with his work. Unsurprisingly, the lab was a huge mess. Samples of his work were lying on the ground, shattered into pieces. All the experiments had been broken down by the invader. Even though Dr. Benton seems upset about this sabotage, he stands firm, remains calm, and does not show his anger in front of his kids. Instead, he asks his family not to let their guard down yet and leads them to his office. The image is shocking to him because the invader had completely altered the office by rearranging the geography of the space. Seeing everything in their house in such terrible condition, the whole family starts searching for clues to find a possible explanation. Dr. Benton finds a stack of papers lying on the table, but he cannot recall if they are his work. Confused by his new findings, Dr. Benton asks his kids to leave the house and wait for him outside, as he thinks it would be best to keep their young minds from being disturbed by such information. A trip to the future. After being ordered to wait outside, Jonny and Haji head out to wait for their dad and Roger to finish their hunt for clues. In the office, both Benton and Roger try to find more information on the matter. Seeing Benton send his sons out of the house, Roger seems confused and asks him, "Did you find anything serious? Because there is no way you would have done such a thing otherwise." Benton stands still and nods his head, confirming. It then shows Roger a stack of papers that appears to be his daily accounts, which he can't remember doing. But this is less of a concern for him now. Even though the handwriting on the paper resembles his own, the date seems like a joke to him. He can't wrap his scientific brain around this phenomenon. How can the date be 2003? Does that mean that they've traveled through time to the future? While the kids are trying to leave the house as their dad ordered, their dog Bandit suddenly starts running toward the bush again. Watching Bandit act crazy like that, both kids start following him into the bush, but what they see is shocking. How is this even possible? Someone must be playing a dirty game with them, messing with their minds. They have found the tombstones of their dad and Roger hidden in the bush. Shocked to see such a thing in front of them, the kids become emotional. The engraved date on the stones suggests that their dad died in 2004. For such smart kids, it isn't difficult to understand that they've traveled forward in time and are confronting the realities of a possible future. Back in the office, Benton is trying his best to understand the logical phenomenon behind their journey to the future. He explains to Roger that their sea expedition was an opportunity to test his new invention. The invention was designed to track, measure, and even collect certain subatomic particles to relate directly with intrinsic time theories. Confused by Benton's time travel theory, Roger asks him if he is talking about a science fiction story. To help Roger understand the theory, Benton tells him that when the lightning struck their boat, it completely shorted out their entire system along with a quantum counter. If the collected particles were forced into an unnatural state, the physical attributes could have opened up a localized space-time area, potentially paving the way for the future. Final showdown. When the adults were finding a solution to this grave situation, the boys outside suddenly heard some noise from the sky. When they looked up to investigate, they saw a herd of drones flying through the sky. Before they could even understand what was happening, they noticed one of the drones firing a missile at them at an incredible speed. Jonny grabs Bandit swiftly and shouts to Haji to get down. The missile hits the ground, but both boys survive. Hearing the blast, both Roger and Benton rush outside to check on the kids. But before they could stand still and inspect the situation, the drones begin firing at them. Everyone starts running away from the drones in fear of losing their lives. Haji, on the other hand, finds a way to defend against the drones. He picks up a part of one of the damaged drones and uses his excellent aim to hit the killer drone successfully. But this is not enough to save them from these powerful machines. Roger decides to use the rocket belts they had seen in the office to defeat the drones. He straps himself into the rocket belts, grabs a machine gun, and begins firing at the drones mid-air, while Roger puts on the final showdown against the killer machines by firing at them in a heroic fashion. The kids discover giant machines with giant Tesla coils surrounding them, emerging from the ground all over the island. Unfamiliar with their dad's quantum counter machine, the boys gaze at the machines in awe. Later, it is revealed that it was Benton's idea to use his technology to turn it into a reactor that could create a shield to protect the island from further attacks. When the team finished their job of securing the island, they heard someone approaching from the background. An older man holding a walking stick with a face covered in a gray beard appeared. Seeing the older man, everyone was stunned, but it was Jonny who was stunned even more. The resemblance was uncanny. They looked vaguely similar to each other except for the age difference and a heavy gray beard. Jonny realized he was meeting his future self. After staring at each other for a while, the older Jonny advises his younger self to live his life to the fullest. Seeing his son as an older man in front of him, Benton greets him by shaking his hand and telling him that his predictions have come true, but the world has turned into a much more dangerous place than he ever predicted it to be. The comic ends with an alien spacecraft emerging from Earth's atmosphere. A group of aliens are waiting for the rebirth of their mighty ruler, the Phoenix Legend. Marvelous verdict. Filled with adventure, thrill, and an exciting array of villains, Jonny Quest is an excellent franchise for younger audiences. While most of today's comics focus on adult-driven superhero comic books, Jonny Quest relies on its lead, an 11-year-old kid who is a seeker, adventurer, and a good guy who never shies away from saving the world at any cost. Though most comic books focus on telling stories about good versus evil, they tend to forget the idea of teaching the virtues of goodness to younger audiences. Jonny Quest tries to instill the moral morals of good versus evil, courage, and the values of friendship and family. Considering the show's immense popularity, it is evident that it has a massive following among its targeted audiences. The characters from this show have been parodied, featured, and published in other popular shows, which demonstrates its fandom around the world. With this ongoing comic series, the characters of this franchise are set to feature in a full-length feature film soon, and we hope to bring more videos of the comic reviews to our channel once it is published. Till then, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to keep up with more entertaining content in your feed.